year-old Dylan Johnson. The boy disappeared Saturday during an outing at a popular recreation area along Watauga Lake. Now, officers do not believe Dylan drowned. The last person to see Dylan remembers sending him down a path to rejoin his family around 5 o'clock. But Dylan never made it.
I feel somewhat responsible since I left him, I really do. I mean, even if he wasn't my child, I shouldn't have left him.
The path does lead to a busy road. Authorities issued the Amber Alert after a witness reported seeing Dylan talking with two people around the same time.
I'm afraid that some kind of psychotic pervert's got a hold of him, but I still don't understand how that happened either from right there to here. You sit here and you see this on TV and everything, and you really never think about your own. And now I'm here, and this is about to drive me nuts.
Tonight, authorities need your help finding a blue or gray Dodge Durango with a Florida tag. And once again, here is some information about Dylan. He's 4 feet tall, about 50 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. Last seen wearing a UT Vols t-shirt, orange sweatpants, and no shoes. If you have any information, please contact your local authorities. LJ.
But we have new information tonight about the young store clerk gunned down in an armed robbery. 18-year-old Cole Richard had only worked at the game exchange in Antioch for 3 weeks. Tonight, News 2's Mike Browning talks with a young man who just lost his best friend.
It hasn't sunk into me. I just felt like I'm in a dream and I'm waiting to wake up.
Bubba Blair says he can't wake up from the nightmare, the cold, stark reality of losing his best friend, 18-year-old Cole Richard, to a cold-hearted killer.
He was such a good person that I don't understand how anybody could do that.
But he was just a normal kid, and it just turned into a bad situation that should have been prevented.
Friends and neighbors say 18-year-old Richard Cole enjoyed hanging out with his girlfriend Stephanie, enjoyed watching action movies and playing video games.
He'd come over and hang out majority of the time, and we'd watch car videos on the internet.
So much so, Cole grabbed a job clerking at Game Exchange on Hickory Hollow Parkway. Saturday night, he found himself staring into the barrel of a gun.
He pulled the cash drawer out and turned the money over to the suspects, and for no apparent reason, the victim was then shot one time.
Hit in the face, the 18-year-old who was still pondering his future had no future to plan.
And I'm sure he did everything he could to get them to calm down and to, just try to get them out of the store.
When the two suspects fled the store, police say Cole's co-worker grabbed a gun and gave chase, exchanging in gunfire as they fled. Bubba Blair wants his best friend's killers brought to justice, and when asked why the suspects would kill his best friend when all they had to do was walk away.
Just because they can. These guys, they get off on power. And just because that they can do this, that's the way they want to be, and they want to live that thug lifestyle, and that's the kind of stuff that gets people killed.
In Nashville, Mike Browning, News 2.
And police say the two suspects, described as younger black males between 17 and 20 years old, fled in a car that had been moved during the robbery, indicating a third suspect was driving the getaway car. Police say one suspect had a yellow type jersey with some type of number on it. Someone saw the suspects in a dark-colored four-door vehicle, possibly black or maroon in color. A serious crash left a 43-year-old man in critical condition tonight. Police say the man's motorcycle slammed into a telephone pole on 26th Avenue North. Witnesses say the victim hit a pothole, went up on the curb, and went airborne. Officers closed the road to investigate. The victim went to Vanderbilt Medical Center.
Now to the fury known as Hurricane Emily. She's creeping toward the Mexican coast tonight. The dangerous storm has already pummeled part of the Caribbean. Torrential rain flooded the southern coast of Jamaica as the storm steered by. Emergency managers say 4 people are feared dead after floodwaters swept away their car. Now Emily takes aim at Cancun on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, a popular vacation spot for American tourists. Many of those tourists crowded the airports today, desperate to get out of Emily's path before the airport closed. Local authorities have been issuing warnings for days. Residents and tourists alike accused the government of poor planning when Hurricane Gilbert ripped Cancun back in 1988.
Nowadays, whenever you talk about hurricanes in Cancun, you have to say before Gilbert or after Gilbert. That big was the lesson we learned.
For more now on Emily's timing and her path, let's go to meteorologist Davis Nolan at the News 2 Storm Tracker. Davis.
Well, Brent, we're looking at a close-up satellite view of Hurricane Emily, just about 2 hours off the coastline of the northeastern section of the Yucatan Peninsula. Again, the famous resorts in Cancun and Cozumel being hit by this storm, and looks like it'll hit just a little bit south of Cozumel, not too far from the Tulum ruins. If you've ever vacationed down that way, you've probably been down to see some of the Mayan ruins down that way. This is going to move across the Yucatan Peninsula with 135-mile-per-hour winds, and day after tomorrow probably get back out in the Gulf of Mexico, where it'll regain its strength once again and may bother places like the Texas and Mexican border by late Tuesday into early parts of Wednesday. Meanwhile, closer to home, we hit 90 degrees today, a little more sunshine, but even at this late hour, some scattered thunderstorms rumbling through parts of Giles County, around Pulaski, stretching over into the northwestern sections of Lincoln County and southern parts of Marshall County. We'll have more on that and a very hot 7-day forecast in a few minutes. Back to you.
Davis, in the Memphis area, people spent the day picking through homes left waterlogged by massive flooding. Nearly 3 inches an hour fell on South Haven, Mississippi, just south of Memphis Friday night. The flooding displaced at least 36 families. Operators had to turn off the power to prevent even more damage. Today, neighbors tried to salvage what they could.
Disaster. I mean, it's a disaster. I mean, everything, we trying to salvage nothing. We really don't have anything.
Don't want to start all over again, but I guess we're going to have to now.
Emergency crews were forced to use boats to rescue some of the victims. LJ?
A Lewis County man will spend the rest of his life in prison. That tops tonight's Mid-State Update. The Columbia Daily Herald says a judge passed that sentence on to 43-year-old Mark Siebenthal. Prosecutors say he killed a Hohenwald couple last May as the couple's 5-year-old daughter watched. In Dixon County, police caught up with an attempted murder suspect accused of stabbing his 25-year-old girlfriend. Search crews had tracked Jonathan Buckner since Thursday. Officers found Buckner Saturday on the Dixon-Montgomery County line. Tomorrow, the Sumner County Commission will decide if you'll see the names and addresses of registered sex offenders on the county website. The Gallatin News-Examiner says a legislative committee already approved the idea. And in Cannon County, WBRY Radio says commissioners have approved next year's budget. The budget does include a 5-cent property tax hike, with all of the additional money going to the Solid Waste Fund. Brent?
The Tennessee Highway Patrol nabbed a van full of illegal immigrants this weekend. A trooper in Knoxville stopped the van early this morning after the Highway Patrol put out a statewide bulletin. The Department of Safety says troopers found 12 Brazilian passengers and 2 Mexican drivers inside, but officers tell News 2 it is likely INS will not deport them unless they have criminal records. Surgeons treating the Knoxville sisters injured in the London terror attacks released new photos of the girls this afternoon. Doctors at Duke University Medical Center have treated 20-year-old Emily and 21-year-old Katie Benton for injuries they suffered in the bombings. Doctors have moved the Benton sisters out of intensive care, but have not set a timetable for their scheduled release.
In Britain,